I found myself in a large church in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, preaching there for the first time. And in this church, I suppose it was about 25% full. There were 500, 600, 700 people there. And it was dark. I could see the people, I could see their shadows, but I could only see a very few of them that were at the very front. They could see me, but I couldn't see them. And it was particularly threatening in that while I was preaching, they were rioting outside due to the political unrest at that time. And it was a severe threat. And the people were staring at me. They seemed to be marveling at two things. First of all, that I was a white man, because all the white men had left, I was told, but that I was preaching as though I was oblivious to the rioting, which in fact I was oblivious to it. I only found out later, thank God for hardness of hearing, huh? And so I just preached on like nothing was going on. And when I say they were fighting outside, they were fighting right outside. And the people just thought this was amazing that I just kept preaching while they were fighting. And I became aware of, at that time, three figures who were dear friends of mine. The first was Bishop Lamba Lamba, and in hindsight, I find it remarkable of him because he knew the political climate and he refused to retreat. He could have easily called off the services, but he instead went forward. There's something to be said for that in ministry. The other was John Jerry, Bishop John Jerry. It seemed like every other thing I said, he says, "Amen," and he's just as oblivious apparently as I am to the fighting that's going outside. And there's a great gift of encouragement. This is a hard world and we need encouragement. And he encouraged me on that night. And the other one was Charles Funvake, Reverend Charles. And I remember seeing him and he was fervently praying, and I thought, what's his problem? I'm preaching, you want to just, And so he was praying, but it was his prayers that were answered, because after he prayed, it poured rain. Now you say, what's so great about that? Well, he had been praying that it would rain. And it poured torrentially. And what it had the effect of doing was driving the rioters away. And they went away. And so we just kept going. And after we finished preaching, the rain stopped. And the people went home in peace. You see, the rain was sent by God. And it's sent, even though it's uncomfortable, it served its purposes. And the next night, the church was full. And the next day after that, the church was full to overflowing. And in ensuing times in that church, they've had to close down the streets. They've even involved national press. We were on, a couple of years ago, I preached on a crusade that was nationally covered by the Congo News. But long before I was ever on national TV, there was a dark room in an unstable country. You see, the rain is inconvenient. The rioters are threatening. It doesn't feel like an optimal situation, but the Lord uses those things to show his authority over every power. He has dominion over all things. The Lord uses instability and discomfort and inconvenience and trouble to show his authority over all those things. Where's the victory when there's no enemy? You see, when we run from threat, when we run from discomfort, when we set as a goal comfort and ease and safety, we actually eliminate any hope of victory, because the victory is won in the difficult places. And if you don't think so, just take another look at the cross of Jesus Christ. At the edge of the Red Sea, Moses has led the people out of Egypt, and now they're between the Red Sea and the hostile Egyptian army. And we read these words from Moses: "Do not be afraid. Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord, which he will accomplish for you today. For the Egyptians whom you see today, you shall see again no more forever. The Lord will fight for you, and you shall hold your peace." He says, stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. This is not a call to passivity, but to boldness, to confidence, to certainty. We're not to run to the enemy in compromise, and we're not to run from the enemy in cowardice, but we're to stand still and see the power of the Lord, the salvation of the Lord and his deliverance. Dear friends, the Lord richly bless you.